Good morning, students. This is Professor Young. I hope everyone is faring okay during these times. I hope everyone is healthy and safe along with your families. First and foremost, I want to thank those of you that have been participating regularly in the class. Thank you for your commitment, to your learning. And I really and truly realize that uh, face-to-face classes are different than online classes. Online classes take more time. Online classes require more independent motivation, more independent decision making that is different than face-to-face courses where you have a professor talking to you every day, engaging with you, motivating you, directing you. And so once again, those of you that have thrived, and I have some students that have thrived in this transitional time, it's commendable. I also think that those of you that have thrived and may find that our online classes provide more of an opportunistic way to learn, to the degree that you have an enormous amount of resources that are available, and as long as you plan, as we talked about early in the accounting class when I had you do that planning sheet, success is very, very possible. So with this being said, I wanted to do the professor comments video for today. I know I didn't do one last week because in looking at the reading list, we actually have a week that we're not going to have any work required. Of course, what I mean by work required would be that there's not going to be any additional assignments assigned this week for the chapters as we prep and or review and I get my grading done for chapters 5 and 6. And I want to go back and take a look at some additional grades that a couple of students had issue with. And I do appreciate your patience in this regard. So today, I am going to change the announcement. So you will see a week 11 announcement, but I'm basically going to duplicate the week 10 announcement and make it the week 11 announcement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reading list. And you will notice that, I hope this is the correct one. Let's see here. Yep. So you'll notice with the reading list that was prepared right after the COVID suspension, so according to this document, you'll notice that we are in week 11. And what has happened here is that, we're in week 11, and it says that we're covering inventory periodic approach. And we actually maybe took a little bit more time, or moreover, I may have advanced the assignments without previewing this document. And as I mentioned again, your efforts are commendable. So we have our scheduled exam in week 12. And technically week 12 would be May the 10th or 11th through the 16th. 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with this path here. So this week will be a repeat and will allow students to review their chapter 5 and 6 work after I've graded it. So I want to make sure that you are aware of that. And again, if you have issues with any of this, you can email me and I can direct you accordingly. Okay. And then to that end, one of the other things that I've changed slightly is I haven't been requiring this discussion boards because initially a lot of my students weren't doing the discussion boards. That was somewhat disheartening But yet I understand that, there's computing issues and those types of things that are happening in cyberspace, or moreover in the education community that we're in. So I may put up a discussion that might be due by Wednesday, but I'm not for certain. Okay. And then if I go back over here to the Wiley Plus website, what I'm going to do for this week is, when you come back over here, you'll see that there are some due dates for Chapter 6. We had the 29th. That was a couple of days ago. And then we had our last quiz for week 10, which was May 1st. So I'm going to go and see how many students finished that quiz. And if there are any students that didn't finish the quiz or do the quiz, I'm gonna extend the due date. I know there was a situation last week where Ryan, one of my very good students, had commented that I had changed the due dates. And this was because I wanted to make sure that and give students an opportunity to do a particular assignment. So for week 11, I'll run both 5 and 6 again. Okay, so when we go back over to the modules, that's what that'll look like. Okay, so today, I guess this week, spend time with your other courses. Of course, you want to continue to read, study, and apply. And then the exam I will deploy next Monday. You'll have a week to do the exam. Of course, true to form, I'll have a part 1, which will have multiple choice questions, fill-ins, and then I'll have a part 2, which will be problem related. More than likely, the part 1 will be an hour and a half allotment, and the part 2 will be an hour and a half allotment, as if we were in class. Keep in mind when you do the exam next week that when you start it, you have to start and stop in one sitting. You can't leave the computer. So be prepared in that regard. Other than that, as I mentioned, if you have any questions other than grading questions, I'm going to take this week to actually get caught up on all of my grades. So before you email me on grades, at minimum wait until Friday, because then that'll give me some time to synthesize and complete my work. Okay? All right, class. So again, this video is in relation to week 11. Week 11 is going to be a repeat of week 10 as we prepare for our exam, which will be scheduled for week 12 according to the reading list. I do appreciate your time. Again, this week you will be able to catch up on other work, maybe get ahead, and more importantly, review items in prep for the exam that will be given next week. Okay, thank you for your time.